Mamas, come and save your child. Baby Earth is reeling and wailing and needs your tender embrace. Mothers of the universe, Mother Nature sighs. Ooh, come save your child. Come save your child. Come and take back your child. It's great.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this very wonderful platform, important place. Welcome to GeesBeeCee Women with Words show. We're here this afternoon. Please, we want to make sure that you invite everybody you can invite. This is about a Liberian. This show, we're going to have a Liberian that we're extremely proud of. We all have benefited from him and what he's doing. He is putting us on the map internationally now, globally. Everybody knows about it. My skin is flawless also because of his product. So we are excited that we have this guest. We want to give you time. I want to be able to, I forgot to grab my products to show them here. I have all of them.
Grab it.
Yes, I'm going to grab it. I'll leave Agatha here for a little bit and I'll go grab my products. You guys, welcome, Agatha. We haven't seen you in a long time. It's been like 6 years.
6 years.
Welcome, everybody. I'll leave you all with Agatha for a minute. Let me grab them because, you know, we need to show the products. As we talk about them, we want to show them. So I'll be right back.
Okay. So you're not the only person that uses the product that we're going to talk about today. And I know a few of you out there. I think I learned about this guy from Marjorie. And I believe she got me in contact with him. And I too got some of this product. Let me tell you, for some of y'all who living in the real cold part of these United States, ain't nothing better than that. I will say it the Liberian way, get your pangana oil, right? And so you can't be ashy when you go outside, because when that cold hits you, you know how you get that ash, that grayish look. This is what you really, really need. And we got some good news. You will be able, you don't have to wait for someone to go to the States to be able to get some of this stuff. So really excited about what this young man has achieved and what we are going to learn about him today. So Ender, you get your pangana oil.
My three main products here will show you a little bit.
You get your pangana oil.
I got a whole year worth of supply.
see how you glowing.
Oh, wow. Flawless.
Look
Flawless. No makeup.
Nothing.
It's just I use natural oils. That's all I use.
Just the pangana oil. You're not even ashy, and you in Maryland and get food.
I know. But anyway, welcome everybody. Agatha, it's good to have you on tonight. Everybody's been kind of busy, but we're still here. Whether we come or not, we continue. GeesBeeCee continues.
Yeah.
We'll continue. We'll still be here whenever we can make it. But thank you to our audience too for always following us.
I know.
Even though we may not be interacting on the show, but we still interact on the Blue app.
On the page.
On the page. So welcome everybody. We're in the month of June. We're here for there's two different kinds of people here. You have all two here tonight. You have the Gemini and the Cancer.
The Cancer, it will not be easy.
You have the Gemini and the Cancer. And let me just tell you a little secret. Next week, we're not going to have this Cancer lady here. It's going to be all Gemini. We want to do a show so people can understand us. We are the most talked about.
I will be here so I can counteract.
You will not be here. You will not be here. We will only be about Geminis. We have only Geminis here. We want to Gemini take over. We want to talk about us. And how people can be missed.
Then next following we will be the Cancer take over.
Yes, the Cancer people.
It will not
Fire
happen.
cancer people. Fire cancer people to come on. But anyway, we are excited to be here. With, like we said, a lot is going on in the world and everywhere else. But tonight, our guest is Mr. Mahmud Johnson of Kernel Fresh. Is Kernel Fresh by J Palm, Liberia. This young man is doing some wonderful things. We're proud of him. We're going to bring him on now because he, of course, he's in
He's in
Miami.
Miami. He's from Miami.
He's from Miami, so we're gonna bring Mahmoud on so that we can talk about the great things that he's done so far. Welcome, Mahmoud.
Welcome.
Is he muted? Are you muted? Can you hear us?
Uh-oh.
Thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you so much, Glendy. It really is a pleasure to be here on this platform.
Yeah. We're glad that we can have you. Let me tell you now, I need to tell this
Can you
story.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. Can you
Yes.
hear us? Maybe you can hear us. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Can you hear
us?
us? So maybe you need to go back and come back again.
Yes.
Go out and come back. You can hear us now?
I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
All right. So I want to welcome, and then I want to make this clear that it's been 3 years. I've been waiting for Mahmoud to be able to for us to be able to talk to him. And I sent a message in his inbox a few years ago. I reached out to one or two persons who knew him, Marjorie and somebody else, to be able to connect us. That wasn't successful until recently. He came to the States and had some of the products, and I purchased some. And then when he went in inbox and saw my message that I sent, he's like, "What?" He was so apologetic, but I understood because, and I wanted to say that because people are busy. But not only that, if we're not friends on Facebook and you send a message to someone, they're not going to see. It's not that they're ignoring you, but it's that they didn't see the message because you all don't have contact. I get that all the time from people. You woman, please look at your inbox. I say your message, you're not responding. It's not that I'm ignoring you, but it's just because we're not friends, we're not acquaintance on Facebook. I'm not going to be able to see that message until we do that. But anyway, Mamu, want to welcome you. Tell us a little bit to everybody watching this evening. Tell us, who is Mahmud Johnson?
Thank you very much. As I said, it really is a pleasure to be here on this platform. I've been following you, and I really admire your work. What you're doing is connecting Liberians in the diaspora with what's happening here in Liberia. And I think that's so important, as we all work towards achieving, common goals. It's very important, and I'm grateful that we now have platforms like this that allow us to be able to about what we're doing and keep each other informed, so that we can also be able to support each other. So I'm an entrepreneur, right? But I look at myself as somebody who is a change maker. My whole desire, my intention of doing this business is how do we set up a business that allows us to use what we already have as a basis for us to thrive. And so I'm not really interested in doing a regular business, right? I'm interested in a business that can have a transformative impact on the communities that we operate in and on the local economy, because I think for such a long time in Liberia we've done business in a way where it's very extractive. We have some resource and we extract, and we send everything outside, and it doesn't really have an impact on the local communities. People still live in poverty despite the country being so wealthy. And so for me, starting this business is like, how look at what we already have that's available to us, and use it in such a way wherein we're not only just creating amazing products and services, but we are also doing it in such a way that has sustainable impact on people's lives and people's livelihoods. And so that's what we're trying to do with J-Palm and Kernel Fresh, is to work with palm oil and palm kernel oil, which is something that's been there for thousands of years, and really to help the farmers in the communities to be able to to not just make 1 or 2 cents out of it, but to really make a living out of it. So that's what we're trying to do with this business.
So we know Mahmud Johnson is from Liberia. I want to, and you're young. I'm not going to ask you for your age, but you're pretty young. I want to ask you, growing up in Liberia, did you ever envision yourself doing this? Is this what you wanted to do as you grew up and look at you in the future?
I had no idea that I would be doing what I'm doing now. I thought, I mean, I've always been interested in many different things, growing up, but I always thought that maybe I was going to work for the government, because when I was growing up at the time, most of the people that we looked up to, most of the people that seemed like they were doing great were people who were working in the government. And so I think most of us grew up thinking, okay, maybe, strive to get some kind of government job. I didn't really think of myself as becoming an entrepreneur. Even though looking back, I've always been sort of entrepreneurial. I've always been I was a young guy who was, we keep my money and then go during the Christmas break. I would buy T-shirts every time, bring it to Pinsville to sell. Go to town, buy charcoal, bring it to town to sell. But I never really thought of that as business. Just like I'm just hustling, here and there.
Yeah.
Right.
So I want to acknowledge, before I go to Agatha, I want to acknowledge your mother. She's your top fan. We're friends. We're close friends on Facebook. I want you to talk about your relationship with your mom, and what is her what does she think about you, what you've done? Maybe not a medical doctor, not a lawyer, but an entrepreneur making your own money. I want to hear a little bit about her, because I think she's very supportive of what you do, and that's evident in everywhere you see her on Facebook. So talk about your mother. Let's make sure we acknowledge your parents to this
Absolutely,
place that you've come.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Many of us grew up in Liberia in a very, in my, I mean, I guess most Liberians, but in my generation, we grew up around the war time. Like I was born right after the war. Feel my age, even though I was born in 1991, right? So that's just right after
So young,
1990.
you should be calling us
And
incident up here.
at the
Calling
Yes.
me
time, my mother had grown up in Sino and then come to exactly, exactly, all aunties. But my mom grew up in Sino, went to high school in Sino, and then came to Morovia to go to college. And then the war happened, and then she met my dad during the war, and I was the result of that. So just looking at, I mean, I can imagine, right? I don't want to call her age, but she was fairly young when she had me too. So I can imagine what it must have been like, for someone can't be leaving your entire family in Sino County, coming to Morovia, that really having much of a support system, and then having a child, right? But I think for me, most of my life and what I've done, I ascribe to my parents and to my mother, because she put her own dreams and desires and aspirations on the side, and really, even though she didn't have much, but I think she knew that she wanted something better for her child. And so my mom actually started selling in Togafle. When I was growing up, she used to sell Togafle, and she used her money to send me into a really good school.
Oh
Um,
dear.
so
That's
we're
Miami
in
for you. It's okay.
yeah,
It's gonna come back.
we're in Miami. Just hold tight. We're talking here to Mahmud Johnson, a young Liberian entrepreneur, kind of fresh. If you know about the Pangana, all like I gotta say, um, it's one of the reasons why my skin is even tuned. I don't have black and brown and blue. It's just what you see is what you get. No mix.
Jack glistening.
You see it? My hands matches my face.
No, no, no ashiness.
And no ashiness, no tada, just a little bit of it. We'll wait for Mahmoud to come back on, but we're talking to him, and I think we're talking to him because there's some good news,
Yeah.
a big news from Mahmoud Johnson that Liberians should be proud of, And when every time I see Mahmoud, and this is one of the questions I'm going to ask him also about his connection with Richelieu, because I've seen Richelieu Dennis and Mahmoud on quite a few videos talking with Richelieu is with what's the other product name? Cocoa butter,
Share butter.
share butter. So he's back. So we're talking
Let
about
me
that.
interpret for you other day. That donut
Yes.
grease.
So now, all right, Mahmoud, you're back.
Yeah, the internet time now a little bit.
Yes.
So I started off going to really good schools, and I always did well in school. Um, but I would not have I have no doubt I would not be where I am today if I didn't have that foundation. And I was going to school with kids whose parents were government officials, whose parents were very rich people. Um, and from a very early age, even though when I look back now, it's like, okay, we didn't really have much, but I never really thought of myself as a poor person. And I think that is so important, that despite what the financial resources are, that there was always a sense of adequacy. There was always a sense of that my needs were met, and that set me up. It sort of gave me a self-image of just I have all that I need.
Right.
Um, and another thing about my mother is that there was always a very loving relationship, and I think it's
I
so
can tell.
important, not to talk down anybody else, but we operate in an environment where many people are very harsh towards their children. Many people
Oh,
curse their children, many people beat their children. And I think
woo.
that also gives people a sort of self-image that is very harmful. I always grew up in an environment that was loving, especially in regards to my relationship between me and my mother. So again, that also gave me just the sense that you can do anything. Like I've never really had any sort of mental handicap in that regard of like putting myself down or feeling like I can't. There's something I can't do. And when I look back, I think it really is because of that. So I always give thanks to my mother. My mother now works in JPalm. She's
Yes.
and so
So
it's
you're the
full
boss.
circle. Right. Um, but the thing is, as you were talking earlier about, June, I'm reflecting. June was actually when we first met Palm 11 years ago.
Woo.
Started
Yeah.
in her garage, at the house, and was trying to make palm oil in the garage. It didn't work out, but yeah, I mean, 11 years later, she's working along with us, and it's a different story today. So all that I am, I think I give glory first to God, my parents, secondly.
Awesome.
Wow. Amazing. Amazing. Agata?
So you started to tell us a little bit about the beginning of Kernel Fresh by J Palm. So I'm gonna rewind it a little bit. If you want to give us just a brief summary of how you started. I got the part about your mother's garage, but give us a little bit more of how you really came to be saying, listen, I can really do this.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so Zipam did not all start off as Corner first, right? You remember, and there's no. I wish there's a short story, but there's no short story, so I'll just try to be as concise as I can.
Okay.
So I was fortunate, when I again talking about just like having this sense of being able to do anything. When I graduated from high school in Morovia, I was, there's a huge gap between when high school's finish and when college starts. The college entrance exam start in Liberia. So when I
Okay.
graduated from high school, I was saying, what, if I'm going to work for the government, then I might as well, like go big, right? Like start at the top.
Okay.
And so I just randomly just sent out an email to the president's office. At that time, it was President Shirley who was in office, saying, I just graduated from high school, and uh, I'm going to eventually take college entrance exam, but I don't just want to be sitting down doing nothing. So I was wondering if
Right.
you have anything that's going to do with this. Is that an internship or something?
Oh wow.
And there's a woman there named Rapti Pele. I think some people know her. She was at the time the special assistant to the president for communications. And she said, "Well, come, let's chat." And I met her, and that was how I sort of hustled my way to get an internship working in the president's office. And
Oh
and
wow.
while working there, I she really talked to me, and She sort of mentored me to look into applying to universities outside of Liberia. So through
Oh
working
wow.
there, I eventually, started to research about what it is to go to school in the U.S. I didn't know anything about SATs and all these things. I had to do all
Right.
that research. Did it, took the SATs. I got into university in the U.S. Got a scholarship. Was able to get some support from Firestone in Liberia as well as from the Ministry of State to pay the
Oh
remaining
wow.
scholarship fees. And so I came to college in the States, and I did economics and political science. And again, with this mindset of going back to work for the
Right.
government.
Back then.
But while I was in college, I did a course in the business school, which completely shifted my mindset, because a lot of the issues that we discuss in Liberia, to discuss a lot about the infrastructure and about poverty and all these things. Um, what occurred to me at the time in the business school is that, well, a lot of these things, yes, they are political issues, but they are also, there's an opportunity here to try to address some of these problems with business in a more
Right.
sustainable and scalable, kind of way. And so through that experience, and I sort of opened my mind to business. And so the Christmas before graduation, I was actually in Liberia, and one of my aunties used to sell palm oil.
Mm-hmm.
And she was telling me about, some of her challenges. She said that her business broke down because she couldn't find, just like stable supplies. Sometimes she'll pay
Mm.
away and go in the bush to buy oil. The person finished selling the oil to somebody else, so now she's eating into a profit. And that
Wow.
didn't make any sense to me, because I grew up in the city, and I just knew that whenever you want palm oil, you go in the market, you buy it. I didn't know
Right.
really about how it was made. And so that got me interested in just like digging deeper into understanding, the palm oil value chain. Um, and when I look back, it's like this was actually really meant to be, because that's random conversation now. When I came back to the States, doing research for some college paper, I just randomly came across some research that USAID in Liberia did, where they showed that, I think at the time they said about 35% of the palm nuts in the tree in Liberia remain on the trees and get rotten, because the production process was so slow. The farmers didn't have access to machines. They were using,
Wow.
yeah, they were using the hands to be squeezing the palm oil, and so they were not able to harvest most of the palm. I mean, some
Right.
of the palm. And then when they harvested, they were also losing half of the oil that they're supposed to get, because their hands are not as efficient in extracting the oil. So JPAM actually started off in that regard. I was thinking about like market women who have to leave the city. At that time, the roads, going to the rural was very bad. They had to leave the city and get in car and go in the bush to go look for oil. And I was thinking, well, what if we could, try to address this at the source level? To say, okay, let's work with the
Right.
farmers in the bushes. Let's give them the machines that they need to be able to make the
Right.
oil faster, and then we can buy the oil from them and bring it to town to sell to the market women. So that was how J Pump started, right? It was mostly thinking about it in terms of like, um, how do we make it work for the farmers in the rural areas, help
Mm-hmm.
them, make more oils in the process, make more money. But then also, it also works for the market women who were selling the oils, and they had to spend so much of their money on transportation to go
Right.
put buy oil, put it in the town. So that was the original idea. Eventually, we started making palm kernel oil because at the time, when we were making the oil, each time I went to the production site, there was this huge mountain of palm kernels, and I was, and then one time I went there and they were burning the palm kernels. So I said, "But why are we burning the palm kernels?" And they said, "Well, that's how we can do it, you know." And so I was like, you know what? Let's figure out what we can do with the palm kernel. So
Okay.
started doing research, and at the time, soap makers in Liberia were going as far as Guinea and Sierra Leone to purchase palm kernel oil, when we had
Wow.
hundreds of thousands of tons of palm kernels going to waste every year in Liberia. So
Oh
we're actually the first.
wow.
Um, like back in 2014, nobody was making palm kernel oil in Liberia, and so we got the machine and we started making the palm kernel oil, and we started selling it to the soap makers, and that was a good business, right? It was a decent business because there's huge demand for palm kernel oil. Literally, the buyers used
Yes.
to call me and beg me and say, "Can you please supply me? I beg you, please, there's
Mhm.
something produce, please."
Wow.
But but I realized that was a sort of dying kind of business, right? Because you will see somebody who probably be buying like $1,000, $2,000 worth of oil from you every week, but the business is in a little zinc shack, and it's not really growing. What was
Right.
happening is that after the war there were lots of NGOs that came to Liberia to do livelihood projects, and they were
Mm-hmm.
teaching everybody how to make soap, right? So everybody was making the same
We're
soap,
making soap.
and it was just like a plain
They
soap.
blew
Nobody was
that
adding
that
any,
soap.
like nobody had any kind of fragrance or any kind of packaging to it. So people are not really making profit because the only way they could really differentiate themselves from their competitors was to lower their price. Everybody was, so somebody would be selling it for
Mm-hmm.
$20, somebody would be selling it for 2 for 25, somebody selling it for 15. So they kept squeezing the margins, they kept squeezing the profits to the point where they were not really making profit. And then one time somebody credited almost $1,000 worth of oil from us, and then the person closed their shop and they ran away to somewhere else. So I was like, you know
Oh
what,
dear.
we should figure out some other way to make this business sustainable, because if we keep selling the oil to the soap makers, at some point in time we don't really have customers.
Right. Right.
um so we said, let's make our own soap. So we
Okay.
started off, actually we started making washing soap. We imported some fragrance from Turkey. We started making washing soap. uh and it went well, right? The soap looked nice, it smelled nice. We put a little plastic around it, but at the time, people were still not very comfortable with the idea of made in Liberia.
Right.
And so even though we're adding fragrance to our soap, it was a very nice formulation, but people still wanted to pay the same price that they're paying for the regular soap without fragrance.
Right.
So it was just like, when I look back, it's like God really, as I say, God really works in mysterious ways, because sometimes it's like God is speaking to you and He will try to move you in certain, and sometimes
And
it
you
seems
don't
like
want
you
to
are,
know.
yeah, sometimes hitting your head against the wall, but you're getting somewhere, right? So I remember exactly where I was. I was driving along the SKD Boulevard, and I was thinking about this thing. I was like, what, this thing doesn't seem to be working, because we input all this fragrance, we're making the soap, and people don't want to pay the price that we're asking for it. And then there was this moment of stillness, right, where I just heard a voice in my head to say, like, focus on what you have. What do you have? And in my mind, it was like, okay, but we have a lot of oil in our warehouse, and we have fragrance. And it's like, but why don't you put the oil in the fragrance and make a body oil? Because when we were growing up, we used to use pangana oil. But then, people
Oh,
didn't
no,
like the
great.
strong smell of the pangana oil. But they were
Yeah.
like, oh, pangana. So I was like, boom, let me go and try this thing. And so I turned the car around. I also on the same SKD Boulevard. I turned the car around, went back to the office, and I took some of the oil, I put some fragrance in, I shook it, and it smelled nice. It felt nice on the skin. So I was like, you know what, let's this and let's see how people respond to it. And that was how Kernel first really was born.
Wow.
Well, I
That's
mean, I call it a sort of divine inspiration, but that's how it was born, right? And we just put it out there, and it just took off.
right.
Yes, that's amazing.
That's an incredible story to come
Yeah,
from, being the supplier to others to actually taking over the market. So let's fast forward because we're halfway through and want to get to the good news. So today
yeah,
I'm going to let Glendy ask the question on the latest news. But for today, what does Colonel Fresh by J Palm looks like in Liberia? Where are you? What is business like? What do you offer in Liberia? And then I'll turn it over to Glendy.
yeah. So Kernel first started over just as palm kernel oil in a bottle, and then people really
Mhm.
liked it. They said, "Oh, I use this. It's clearing my acne. It's growing my hair. It's clearing my baby's diaper rashes and all." And so it really started to grow from there. But then people started asking, do you also have soap? Do you also have this? Do you also have that? And so we grew the brand from just the oil to now we started making soap, and then we started making shea butter mixed with palm oil for hair, and then lotion. So the brand has sort of expanded between just beyond just the oils to now saying, okay, we have a full range of natural skin and hair care products, all made with palm oil. So we have everything from shampoos to conditioners, body wash, bar soaps, lotions, basically almost anything you can think of for skin and hair care. Basic skin and hair care we have in Liberia, and we've been able to now grow to where now we have 6 of our own stores throughout the city where people can come in and have an amazing shopping experience. They
Just
can
in
see the full
Monrovia?
range of products in Monrovia. We have expanded beyond Monrovia, but for
Okay.
now, I mean, we do have some sellers out, but our stores are in, yeah. So this is one of our stores. So we have a bunch of these stores all around Monrovia for people to come in and just really have experience the products. You can try the samples, ask the sales assistants for recommendations and buy the products. So that's the operation that we have. We have right now we have almost 100 employees working in JPalm
Oh,
across
wow.
the various, yeah, across the various departments, the palm kernel oil factory, the kernel fresh production, the marketing and sales. We also have another brand. Interesting enough, we started doing washing soap. People didn't want to buy it. Now we've brought the washing soap back, and because it's attached to kernel fresh, now even
Now they
we
Now
want
charge
they're
it.
people more
buying
money.
it.
Right. And so now we have a brand called Palm Fresh, which is laundry bar soaps that we wash for washing. We also have another brand called Patawi Fresh that is just it's palm oil, just delicious organic palm oil for cooking. That we actually now I should announce on here that we just got FDA certification, so we're going to be exporting our palm oil to the US. But I know that,
Woo!
I mean, I visit the US, I go to the African food store and see all these like things from
Yes,
Malaysia.
we
It
need
doesn't,
to see. We need to see
you
Patawi
know,
Fresh up there.
Nice.
exactly. So we're gonna be doing. We're gonna start selling our palm oil full time. In the US, which I mean, which is something that
Amazing.
we really want to do it for the Liberians and for the Africans in the diaspora to have the authentic, palm oil available
Absolutely.
in the US.
So
Splendid.
I got some pictures of different packagings, and like I said, I don't know if they can see it. This is the bottle. This is my product. It's skin and
Mhm.
hair. And one
Yeah.
thing I'll tell you about the product, Mahmud, I don't have to buy hair grease. As I
Wow.
take shower, because I have dreadlocks, I rub my hair oil in my hair. What goes on my body also goes in my hair. So it's one-stop shop. So I have
That's
this.
amazing.
Yes. And then I have there's another one too, kind of fresh skin and hair oil. I have that.
Yeah.
And then one of the products that I'm crazy about is the rose water lemongrass. So
Mm.
I think that's the
Yes. Yes.
newest one. It's a lotion.
Yes.
It's very
Yes.
soft. It's and I usually use it at night. I don't know why, because it just makes my skin feel like baby. So that's the oil during the day, but the lotion I like, and I think the lemongrass is it takes me back to the war, because
Mm.
during the war, all we did was to drink lemongrass tea. So I'm so
Mm.
every morning and night we were on a refugee camp in Soul Clinic. We made a big
Mm.
pot of tea. That tea would carry you
Mm.
till noon, and then after noon in the evening before you go to bed. So the lemongrass tea is something that it's so passionate for me. And when I saw this, I was very amazed. And it's truly, your products are amazing. They're
Thank
so
you.
amazing. There's no blemish. There's no discoloration. I use your product, and I also use another product from Tanzania, but they're all oils, natural oil. But I use kind of fresh almost every day. And then there's some packagings here. I just had pictures that I wanted to show when people want to purchase stuff. I don't know if these are the same prices, but these are just some of the things that you have. You've
Yeah.
made. This is another one, the mega box. Um, and this is another one, skin glow, hair growth. And
Yeah.
this is you have a variety of products. Let me before we go to the news, someone who's watching and they don't live in Liberia, how can they
Mm.
order their products?
If you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram. So Facebook is Kernel Fresh by J Palm Liberia. Instagram is Kernel Fresh Liberia. So we are going to be launching in the US very soon, and when we do, we make the announcement on there. For now, people who are abroad, you can send us a message through the Facebook page. We can get the product for you, take it to DHL and ship. The problem is most people are afraid of the shipping cost because DHL is quite expensive in
Of
Liberia.
course.
But I mean, the prices that we sell these products for, right? Like if you're in the US, is much different. So you
Right.
have to factor that in. Like if you're getting the bureau prices, you have to know that the shipping costs will be higher. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it all makes up for it. So
Right.
you can get in touch with us, and we can ship to you wherever you are through DHL. But we will start selling our products in the next 3 months.
Awesome.
So we want to say that we like folks. If you're just joining us, we're talking to Mahmud Johnson, CEO, executive of kind of fresh by J Palm Liberia. He's here. This is the 11th year in the business. And suffice it to say that GBC will be the one to interview him in the anniversary month. This is amazing news.
It's
And then he
anniversary
comes,
month. Yeah.
yes, 11 years to come here in the month of June. And then also during the week, we heard about big news, a big,
Yes.
big
Yes.
news that that your product was chosen to be in soap made by another company. I want you to tell us a little bit about it because it's amazing that we in the States, if you purchase this product, you will actually be supporting the work of Mahmud Johnson. That's what we want you all to do. So tell us
Right.
about how you stumbled upon this, how you got to where you are, and so that we can be able to share this news to everybody who's watching.
Absolutely. So there's a company based in Nebraska called Pacha Soap, and for them, their mission, they are really socially driven. They want to make sure that whatever they do, that people and communities and environment, are benefiting from their work. So they make amazing, bar soaps, and they are sold in all the Whole Foods markets throughout the U.S.
Right.
About 5 years ago, we got approached by them to say, "Oh, we see what you're doing." I mean, at this time, we were a very small operation. I think we were operating like just 3 villages in Liberia, and they say, "Okay, how can we work together? How can we support you to grow this so that you can eventually start to supply us the palm
Wow.
kernel?" And so that was how we started working together. Trying to figure out where can you find money from, and through them, we're able to get some grants that enabled us to build our own palm kernel oil factory, to get the equipment, import some equipment from India to make palm kernel oil on a much larger scale than what we had, and then
Oh,
also to expand into the villages, because just into the villages in Tori, with the first batch of this, or the first phase of this project we went to 20 villages in Bon County. But then through them, we're also able to get some funding through the Whole Foods Foundation. And that enabled us to now expand beyond just 20 communities. So now we're operating in 96 villages in Liberia. We have more than 10,000 farmers in our network that are making,
wow.
they're using our machines to make their palm oil, and then we're getting the palm kernels to make palm kernel oil, which we shipped our first container to them last December, and now is so yeah, that's our palm kernel oil machine, and now is being infused into their soaps. And the amazing story here is, one is that is a story about quality, because earlier this year we had 25 persons come, from Whole Foods Market, from Pacha Soap, and from other companies, including the Whole Foods chief marketing officer, to see the work that we are doing. And for a country where many times people tend to feast and focus only on the negatives, right, on the things
Right.
that are not working, the fact that you can have people come and say, "Look, like, we have never seen something like this. It's not even like some sort of big razzle dazzle, right? This is just like we go into villages and we see, but for people like Whole Foods, they are focused on natural ingredients, right?
Right.
Natural ingredients that are adulterated in any way. So the oils that we have in Liberia, what we call country palm, this is the most organic palm there is,
Yep.
because this is nobody planted country palm, right? It's like, as we say, it's from God to man. It's pure, it's natural as it is. And in the US, where people worry about cancer and people worry about all these chemicals, like, that's what you want. You don't want anything in your
Right.
oils, right? And so that's
Right.
why that's what we're able to attract their attention, and we're able to attract their interest to us, because it's just, we are able to do this, purely just based on a natural palm oil, but not just natural palm oil, but also natural palm oils that we are sourcing directly from the smallholder farmers. Because again, right,
Right.
it's easy to say, I'm going to go to one big farm, one big plantation, and buy all my palm kernels from there. But then you have to ask the question, who benefits from that? Only one person gets the benefit, the farm owner, right? Whereas if you say, we're going to do it small, but now you have 10,000 people, then 10,000 persons probably has 5 mouths to feed. And that's how we're able to sustain, really make a difference and make an impact. So that's the story for them that got them interested. And I know we don't have much time, but I should also share, because a lot of these things
Go
here,
ahead.
um,
Share
I
what you
just,
want. This is big news. So please go ahead.
Yeah, take your
Yes.
time.
So 5 years ago, the folks from Pacha Soap came to Liberia. I didn't see, I didn't meet them the first time because I was not in the country. But they came to Liberia. They visited our factory. At that time it was a very small operation. And the CEO for Pacha told me, he said he was thinking about this thing, and he's very, he's very spiritual. He was praying to say, God, like, is this something we should do? And if there's something we should do, then I need some sort of sign. And
Mm-hmm.
right after he's done, he turns around and there's a kid walking towards him. And this kid
Mm-hmm.
has on the t-shirt for the college that he went to in the States. I'm
No
sure you've heard of
way.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
No way.
So that for him was the sign, right? And so as I said, we worked with them for 5 years. It's so difficult to get anything done in Liberia. But they've stuck with us, because they really believe in the vision, and believe in not just the product, but they also believe in the potential for change I can have on the local communities.
Yeah.
I
Amazing.
have one question really quickly, Mahmoud. Can you tell us a little bit of the impact that employing those villages or people in the villages, what has it done for the village? What does the village look like now compared to when you first got there?
Right. So before we got there, in almost every single place, people were using their bare hands to make palm oil. So when people do that, you have to. If how it works is that if I'm the one who goes and harvests the palm, because it's so tedious, I
Mhm.
get like 8 or 10 persons to come and help me to put the palm in a hole, beat it, and then put it in the next place to wash it. And then take the palm kernel from inside and then put it in another drum to boil it to get the oil out. Takes the entire day to do, right? Now, what's happening is that we introduce in each village we build what we call a mini milling site. Like we build a shed, we put 3 machines in there, and so now you only need 2 persons instead of going to have like 8 or 10 other persons come and help you. You only need 2 persons to just like push that thing around and make the
Okay.
oil. And also, before, when they make the oils, when they make one drum of oil, they'll get maybe like one tin of oil. For those people who don't know what a tin is, like it's like the 5 gallon container. You get one tin of oil, maybe 1 gallon. Now with the machine, they're able to get 2 tins of oil out of it from the same palm. So what's happening basically is that they're able to make more money. They're able to almost double their
Right.
money from the same amount of palm that they were using before. But they are also able to lower their cost, because if you go and
Mhm.
get 8 or 10 persons to help you, you got to buy clean juice for them, you got to buy rice, you got to find something for them, all those things, right?
Right.
Now with machine, you are able to save on your costs. And so what we're seeing is that people are now able to send more of their kids to school.
Great.
Somebody told us that they used to make like $4,000, $4,800 a month making palm oil. Now they make up to like $40,000 a month.
Oh
So you have an
wow.
impact. Right. So now you have an impact on, because what's happening with the machine is that the machine doesn't take as long. The palm is already there in the bush. You don't really planting it, but the machine doesn't take as long. So they can harvest more palm because they
Right.
don't have to spend as much time on processing the palm oil. So that the
Right.
impact really is on livelihoods. It's on just like people having access to more cash. And that really is the vision here, right? Is that
Awesome.
if you look at most of African societies that we call poor, it's not really because it's not the land is not poor, right? The land is rich, but there's been an artificial thing of like undervaluing what's already there.
Mhm.
Paying pennies for it and then taking it elsewhere and making money out of it.
Millions.
you know
Pretty
what we are trying to do here is to say, let's make sure that people can realize the full value of what they currently have, right? And it
much. Right.
starts with putting machines there so they can be able to produce the oils the right way. We pay for organic certification. It's the first time to have organic certification for country palm in Liberia. So now they have USDA organic certification for these communities, which enable us to now export these oils, as organic
Mhm.
um, uh, uh, palm oil, right? And so if you think about this long term, right, as the farmers and the producers have access to more money, what's going to happen is that it now becomes commercially viable for other operators to go in there. Let's say
Look at
somebody
it.
wants to
Right.
build a school.
Mhm.
If you
Right.
want to build a school, but you don't want to do a free school, you can go in there because people can afford to pay for your school, right?
Exactly.
If you want to build a hospital, people can afford to pay for it. So what we're trying to do is just to create a center of economic activity in these villages, so that people have cash, right? And then that starts to attract the services that they need. So it's a sort of like there's a sort of reverse way of thinking about development, because how we think of development is that you take all the resources, you put it in the port, the government collects taxes, and then somehow that money
Hmm.
filters back, which it never really
Yeah,
quite does because there's so much leakage along the way. As
of
opposed to saying,
course.
let's the money go directly to the people, and then they can decide how they want to spend it.
Right.
Yeah. But
Thank you so much.
let me just say, I don't want us to escape this news. It's such big news. Whole food stores are all over in America, everywhere. I even Googled the Pacha soap is also on Amazon. So even if
Yeah,
you were to purchase a Pacha soap, it means that you're supporting the business of a Liberian. He doesn't own the Pacha soap, but his products have been used in this soap. So all you have to do is you can go to Amazon. If you don't have a Whole Food near where you're living, you can order a bar of soap. It's very economical, not that expensive. We want to take this off the notch. If you purchase the Pacha soap, please make sure you tag Mahmud in it. It's like somebody saying, it's like we have somebody, another Liberian who's doing bags. He purchased the bag, you tag them, someone sees it, they hear it, they ask question. Let's make this go viral. Let's support Mahmud and what he's done. You've made us proud, extremely proud
thank
with
you.
what you've done. But not also is like you're not selfish, you're selfless, because you're also trying to empower the villagers. Who would think
Yes.
about that? Who would think about you wanting to go there in the villages to empower those people? Like I said, I wanted to talk about you're young, and most times you have to travel.
Yeah,
And you're also newly married. Your wife is a
yeah,
beautiful I don't want to say chef, but she's what they call the people that make cake.
the baker.
Pastries.
Pastry maker.
Pastry
Yeah,
chef.
Beautiful. I follow her cakes and how they're designed. I want to talk about your not to be invasive, but how
mhm,
does your wife support this role that you're in? A young couple, and here you are all over the place now. Who knows who's going to call you next? How does she
yeah.
see this and sees what you're doing? Because we want to be able to. I don't want to get in trouble. We've complimented your mother tonight. Want to make sure your wife gets some credit too. So talk to us
Absolutely.
about her.
Absolutely. First of all, I would say, she makes the best cakes in Liberia. And I'm not saying it
Yes.
because she's my wife. But what I've seen, because we've been dating since 2017, right? What I see is that she takes a sort of scientific, almost like a scientific approach to how she develops her cakes, right? So I remember back in the day, she would have notes on everything, on the measurements for everything, and she would test it out. She would give samples to people, and that's how she developed her recipe. So you can go and Google and find something similar to what she makes. She really puts her heart into it, and it shows, right? Because the people who what we see is that almost every single time when somebody orders her cake, and let's say for a party or something like that, somebody who's at that place will be like, "Oh, but where you got this from?" And can you give me the person's number? We'll call and say, "Well, I got a number from so and so person." That's how you know that she really knows what she's doing. And you're right. We are young. We are young family. We married 2 years ago. We just had a baby. We had a baby right after that, who was 1.5 years old. So it is. It is. It is. It does require us to shift, and especially for me, who was used to working all the time, to shift how we think about our lives and how we balance the work and the family. And it really is a give and take. It's a give and take, because sometimes I have to travel, right? I have to go travel. We have to go, trying to build this business, trying to build a life together. And whenever I do, she always holds the ground, right? She takes care of our child. She takes care of the home. um but for me, she's somebody who understands what I'm trying to build, right? Understand that this is something that we're trying to build, not just for now but for the future. And it really is a blessing to be in a relationship where you can be able to have somebody that understands what you're doing and can support those dreams. So, like most of the things that we're talking about today, these are things that we've been planning for 5, 6, 8, 10 years, right?
Amazing.
And so to see somebody who like when I'm talking some of my dreams, it seems so crazy, but it's just like, there's not even a doubt that those things can be accomplished. It just create space, for me to be able to have my crazy dreams and feel validated and feel like, okay, I can actually achieve this because she believes in me.
Amazing. So I'm telling you, I crave for her red velvet cake. I haven't met her, but I've seen the pictures. The
Yes.
day I enter Liberia, I got to come. I got to eat some of that red. It's just the packaging, the way it looks, the way she designs it is just truly amazing. We're so proud of you. I wanted to ask one last question, then we can go to Agatha if she has. I know I've seen you like quite a few years ago with Richelieu Dennis. Is there
Yes,
is
yes.
there any is there any connection? Is there any business deal? Is there anything happening to accomplish people? Dennis, of course, a millionaire. You also may be a millionaire. Who knows? But I just want to because we're so proud of what you all are doing with the oils and the soap and everything else. I just want to hear a little bit about that so people do understand that Liberians do collaborate and can work together.
Yeah, let me share a story. I was in New York City. I think it was 2017, 2018, and I think several people had talked to Rachel about me. And I was in New York City. I was like, I'm in New York. I've always heard about Lion King. I was like, I'm gonna go see the Lion King. I bought a ticket to go see Lion King. I'm getting ready to go see Lion King. I get a call. Who's this? This is Rachel Dennis. He's like, oh, I hear you in the city. And Rachel drives over to where I am, you
Wow.
know, and I ride with him in his car, go to his house, and we talk. I shared a story just to say, you see, people talk a lot on social media, and about things that they don't even know about, right? But he's somebody who's been very supportive. He has this thing at his house in the Hamptons. Every year, where he has all these companies that he's invested in. I mean, many people don't even know this. He invested in, like people see, for example, companies like what do you call it, like it's a company. I forget. I think it's called Lip Boss, or like the black owned
Makeup.
makeup makeup company, right? Like they are in Target and all these places. So companies like that, when they were just starting out, he invested in them, and so he has all these entrepreneurs that he invested in, and they come to his home, and it's a space in an atmosphere for people to share what they're building, get inspiration, get some contacts. He when he visited Liberia, he came to our factory. Um, we went to Raleigh Market, and he was selling. We put a little plastic bag in his pocket. He was selling counterfeits on the streets of. There's a picture so on the internet about this. That was selling counterfeit products in Raleigh Market. So he's been a supporter. He hasn't made an official. He hasn't made an invest. He was going to make an investment in Japan, but it didn't work out for several reasons. That are not that are not indicative of him not wanting to make an investment, just because the timing just didn't work out. So, but he's being supportive. I have his contacts. I can text him, and he's somebody that I look up to. So for someone from Liberia to have built, what he's built, and to not just say, okay, I'm going to have achieved all of this, I'm going to sit down, but to actually say, okay, how do we empower, a new generation of black-owned businesses and entrepreneurs that he's doing in the U.S. And I know for a fact that there are several entrepreneurs, business people and NGOs that he's supporting here in Liberia, that many people know of this program, but they don't even know that he's the person behind it who's funding it, right?
Hmm.
It's always the case that you always have to come and announce on social media what it is that you're doing. I think he's really doing a tremendous job.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it's amazing to hear about the collaboration and what he continues to do, and also what you do. I'm sure there are a lot of young people who are empowered by you being a young man, and being able to achieve. I can't even equate to how proud your mother is of you. Any other question, Agatha?
No, we're out of time, but I do want to thank you for coming on. Impressive young man, Keep doing what you're doing. We're really, truly proud of you. I know of you because of some of the very passionate women that use your products online and they've shared and have purchased, and many others have done so because of them. So continue doing what you're doing. It's working, and we're here for you whenever you need a platform.
Yeah, I have to
Thank
say
you.
we
Thank
have
you
to
so
give.
much.
Yeah, I want to just acknowledge people watching. Beulah is watching. Marjorie is watching.
Marjorie,
Marjorie,
Rose,
not your
Marjorie,
mom. If it wasn't
she
for
is.
Marjorie,
She
I wouldn't
is.
know what you did, who you were.
and
Yes, no,
Rose.
and let me, if I can take a moment to just shout out to Marjorie on this platform, because she really is a rare, person who has really championed our cause. I didn't know Marjorie anywhere from anywhere before. It's through the Kernel Fresh product, and when she came to Liberia, we went out to dinner and we sat down, we talked. She texts me, sometimes like sometimes some people get frustrated on social media because they be like, oh, we reach out to Mahmud and he doesn't respond. The truth,
Yes,
people have
I
to
see that
realize
all the
that,
time.
yeah, people have to realize that, that this, like, I'm the kind of person who, when I get sucked into my work, I just get sucked into it. And there was a time when I actually deleted Facebook from my phone. So I will not get on Facebook until I got onto my computer. And sometimes you forget to do those things. So sometimes people trying to reach me, and it's like, like it's not that I don't want to respond, right? It's just that sometimes I don't see those things. Like, doing this stuff, it takes a lot of time and energy, and so for anybody who's trying to reach me, and I having me on the reach to me, it's not because I see a message I don't want to respond to it. It's just that sometimes I may not see it, right?
You're busy.
But when those things happen, Marjorie will say, "Oh, this so and so person trying to reach you. Please try to reach out, get back to the people," right? That kind of tough love. But I really appreciate you, Marjorie. I really appreciate all that you've
Yeah,
done, and was a true champion for JPalm and for Kernel Fresh.
It's
Thank you so
good
much.
people.
And I know that
amazing.
she comes to Liberia, she supports the orphans, she does the orphanages, so really amazing lady.
Yeah.
Yes, amazing, amazing. And Rose is in Sweden and she's watching. I know the time difference. Rose, thank you. Rose is asking. She asked, I want to only ask you, I know we're out of time, but I want to ask Rose question. What have you put into the products concerning people's skin?
Mhm.
Some people have sensitive skin. I know I have sensitive skin and I don't have any trouble, but I don't want her to hear it from me. I want her to hear it from you on what you've done to ensure that people don't have reactions and stuff from your product.
Right. It depends on which of the product. So for the oil, for example, we don't put anything in it. And in fact, it's not so much about what we put in it as what we don't allow to be. I mean, as like we produce the oil so that we preserve as much of its natural properties as possible.
Yes.
So that's the reason
You
why it
can
works
smell it.
as well as it does. Exactly. For our other products too, like the lotions and other things, we use natural ingredients. So of our products are either natural ingredients or naturally derived ingredients, because we are creating products, that we want that preserve your natural skin. Enhances your glow, makes you look good, but it doesn't add any kind of harmful chemicals to the skin. I have very sensitive skin, and I'm the guinea pig. Any product that we make, I've tested first, and I want to make sure that every single product that we're making are products that I can use, and my family can use. So no, we don't put any sort of chemicals or
Yeah.
anything like that in our product.
But thank you so much, Mahmoud. Congratulations on your
Yep.
two big news. Being approved by FDA to now be selling kind of fresh palm oil. We applaud you for that. We will be looking for those palm oils in the different stores. And we also want to congratulate on you on the fact that you've now partnered with Paca. Is it Pacha or Paca? Is it
Pacha, yeah.
Paca? Pacha soap. So when you see Pacha soap, just know that Mahmoud Johnson products is in it. So purchase
Know
it
that
because
pangana or inside.
Bangladesh, yeah.
yeah, purchase it so that we can support you. If you purchase the soap, tag him in it so that if he's. I think if he sees a post of us purchasing his product and posting it, all of those things will they encourage you to do more and to say yes, my business is growing. You can rest assured, Mamu, I have almost 10 bottles of these. When you came, I brought my whole year's supply. This is all I use. I use for my hair and my body. So rest assured that I will continue to support you we're proud of you. So you want to give closing comments? My love to your wife, to your baby, your mother and I. We chat frequently off and on. So congratulations to all you've done. My red velvet cake. I'm coming for it.
Yes.
All right. So you can give us some closing comments before you go.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that has supported this business. Over the last few years, I've become more spiritual, and I look at things through a spiritual lens. And just yesterday, I was looking at the Facebook page and looking at people responding to some of our videos, and people were praying, for me, praying for the business, and it really is a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing to see something that I consider the fact that this idea came through me. I consider myself as the vessel through which it came through to came into the world. But this is something that represents what is possible in Liberia. Because if you look at palm kernel, right, that just a few years ago, people had no use for palm kernel. If you ate palm kernel, you were considered to be a poor person. To be able to build a business that employs more than almost 100 persons, right, and it's growing to the point where it's now in products in Whole Foods, it's now recognized, not just in Liberia but around the world. It really is a model, right? To say, okay, if we can do this with Pankana that had no use, what else can we do with all the other natural resources that God has blessed us with as a country? And so I just want to say thanks to every single person that has supported us. And I think that this is inspiration for what we can achieve as a country when we continue to put God first and continue to build with other Liberians in mind. So I'm just very grateful because to have a dream and to see it come to reality, exactly how it was in my mind is the biggest honor and is the biggest blessing. So I just want to say thanks to everybody for helping make this dream come true.
Thank you, Mahmud, and you wish you all the very best in
Yes.
everything that you do. We will be following. Anytime you need to come on, you can feel free. We'll share you, we'll follow you, because I want to make sure I get the best piece of red velvet cake ever.
I'll bring a slice for you next time coming to the stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. You be
All right.
safe out there. Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Woo! Yes. So if you want to order products through Kernel Fresh, you can reach out. He said you can send a message to him on Facebook. He will be able to get your products. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Agatha. You can reach out to Marjorie. There's so many people who've used this product. We are faithful Pangana oil users. So we use Pangana oil for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We do nothing else. But it's amazing. Let's support him. Let's support this young man who is doing so great. Also now his products are indirectly in whole food
Foods.
markets. Yeah,
Grocery
all of
store.
the markets is there because the pacha soap is using the pancana oil from Liberia in the soap. The people coming from where he said they're coming from? Argentina?
No.
Where he said the pacha soap people from?
They're somewhere here in Nebraska. Somewhere.
Nebraska. They're
Yeah.
from Nebraska. Yes, they're from Nebraska. Anytime you see pacha soap, just know when you see it, you see Liberian product in this soap. You see the people making this soap? This is Liberian pancana oil in this soap. Purchase it, tag me in it, tag us in it. Let Mahmud know that we support him and we're happy for him. We're at the hour of the hour. It's been a great show. When people doing great, it's just when people doing great, you're just happy. Even if you're not benefiting, just be happy.
Happy, yeah.
Just be happy, genuinely happy, and that people are excelling in what they're doing. His dream has come
Exactly.
true. We wish him all the very best. Also, you want to make sure you continue to follow Agatha. She makes beautiful earrings. She's making me a set. I'm not going to pay for it, the next set, because I gave her the idea to make sets. So she's going to make me earring chain in bango. I want to wear my bango.
In blue.
In blue. I'm going to Songana place. When I plug you'll see I will all over the place.
Nana,
Anyway,
we
Agatha does make some very good, very nice earrings. I mean,
adore you.
they're different. They're not the same. I got one that she made is of thread. I'm trying to find something. I think my birthday that next week. I'll find something a picture to put it on for that birthday. But anyway, folks, thank you for watching. Anything, Agatha?
No, it's good to be back. Thank you for
Yes.
holding down the fort as usual. But we gotta
Yes.
talk about what happened in Liberia. You can't just close the show, man.
And I eat
It's
your
been a
gossip,
minute.
man. And I eat your gossip.
Ask Auntie. Me, I got plenty of questions.
Ask
If
your question then.
I will
People
ask
don't
my
know
question,
the
if she want to answer it, I have business. So I saw Glenn enter. Let me go into character. Sorry, hold on. So I saw enter post that song in that picture. It had two women on it. And those two women, they have something on top of their head. I don't know what that was.
know what
It
she's
looked like a
talking
dead animal or something. They said I wig. Me, I don't wear wig. The most I will put in my head are attachment with my braids. Okay, so I don't know nothing but wigs. Y'all who can wear wigs, I ain't. But let me tell you, the thing those two women on top of their head was a hot mess. A hot mess.
You
Then
don't
they
know
showed
the people
the
now
woman
go
in
look at the picture.
Eh? Are you the one who post that picture? That's what I'm going to see it.
I told her I entered and they got a scene week on.
No, we can't put no. They're not enter. Enter and don't behave the way they're behaving over there. No, ma'am. No. Then there's another picture I saw today. A young man had some kind of beard, sideburns, and thin. Real thin. I don't know what's that. It reminded me of one of those Shaolin monks we used to watch in River Lee or Relda Cinema back in the day. The man was laying on the. You see, Stanton Petty. Stanton the one I put that man picture out of that. Yeah. And what are you going to his trouble? He's still out of that bypass here, man.
The show is over. I am not going to get involved.
See, yeah, no, I got one more thing to say. What happened to the 100 days in office? What did women not do?
I don't know.
Any good news? Any bad news? I
But
hear
you follow the report. I don't know.
A lot of unfulfilled positions. So there's a lot. I'm glad I'm back. Next week we will be back. No, she kicked me off the show
next week is our special.
The week after I'm coming back, so I can dissect. So I can dissect what's going on. I'm back now, but I do post every Friday. I call it Effort Friday. Please look out for my Effort Friday. You can learn a thing or two about it. I'm off my soapbox. I'm off my Kernel Fresh by J.
out there. Next week Thursday is a special show. First of its kind. 5 Gemini. We're coming to tell you how you can misunderstand us.
You can make it with us cancer, so whatever.
How you can misinterpret and miss on 5 Gemini. We're coming to take it off the box. We're calling the show Gemini Take Over.
Whatever.
Nobody doing it like how the Geminis can do it. But you know the thing about it, such a thing about it, next Thursday is actually my birthday. And so we decided that's my birthday gift to me. To come tell you about how
ahead. As my baby said, whatever. Whatever.
So we can tell you about Jimmy. But folks, thank you for watching so much. Please send me your PayPal account so I can place my order to you. All right, Rose. I'll let you. We'll talk to you. We'll hook up in the back. Thank you, folks, for watching. Be safe out there. It's been good being here. We wish Mahmud all the best.
Absolutely.
For what he's doing. Please go online. No, my voice will not go again, June. I've been struggling no voice the last 4 days. It was tough, but it's back now. But go to Amazon. You can actually purchase the Pacha soap on Amazon. True. And like I said, anywhere you see Pacha, just know our Liberian Pangana oil inside it.
Pangana oil. We can call it Kernel. We can not palm kernel oil. Pangana oil. They can move the ash from your skin. Put it on your lips too. It works wonders.
Yes, I do. I'm telling you, I live with these things everywhere. There's another product here. I'm trying to get this later.
Don't show that product here today. We all about Liberia. Don't show that product here today. No, I don't want to see no other product here today.
Another product that he has, but it's halfway, so I didn't want to show the job, but it's good. It's really good. The soap.
We don't know about it right now. We want the people go to
Please
Cool.
order. You can order. Can you post out of state? Yes, he said that if people want to order, you can go to the Kernel Fresh Facebook page, send him a message. If you want to order, you can send me a message and we can send the message to him. If you order your products, he will send you the different packages they have, and then you will get your products mailed to you. I think I got to order through them, right?
Yeah, I ordered when he was in Liberia, and I talked to him through Facebook. And like he said, the shipping DHL is a little bit costly. But if you know somebody in Liberia or somebody, traveling, y'all know how we do. Beg somebody to pick it up for you,
And
or
bring their
just pay the
products.
DHL fee. It
Mhm.
it kind of evens out, I
But
just pay the DHL fee.
yeah, but for right now, if you can't get the product for Liberia, go to Amazon, go to Whole Foods market stores. Pacha soap, they got Mahmud product inside that soap. Inside that soap, Mahmud there. So when you buy one soap,
Pangana or inside.
Pangana or inside, when you buy one soap, some of the money go into him. Thank you, folks. Until next week. If I'm still up to it, if somebody ain't sweep me off my feet for my birthday, we'll be here.
Somebody come in Marshall Bush.
Nonsense. Yeah, bye.